Senge's learning organisation can be very complicated and detailed, so the key is to break it down. So it's a good analyse question where you break something down into parts. So let's look at some possible questions that we might get. So we might be asked to describe, explain, outline how Senge's learning organisation works, or maybe apply it to a business, a case study, or a business we've studied. And maybe we're asked to discuss, evaluate, or analyse how it could be applied to a business, particularly with the analyse. Analyse means break it down into parts, and maybe sort of summarise and evaluate the whole at the end. So we did that. The first thing, the hardest thing is remembering the 5 sort of principles of it. So we broke it down and we said, there's mental models, building a shared vision, personal mastery, team learning, and systems thinking. And the easier way to remember it is with the acronym. So when we did this, we looked at a real business. It's a sports business, but it's still a business. We can use it as our example as the Golden State Warriors. And we said the acronym that we're going to use is most valuable player in team sports. And our image is the Golden State Warriors and Steph Curry, who was actually the MVP 2 years in a row. So based on that, what do we need to remember? We need to remember the M. M is principle 1 for mental models. That means mental models are the deeply held assumptions we have about the business and its people. We need to challenge those if we're going to change. That means we need to create a culture of openness. So challenge all the old assumptions and mindsets, and everyone must feel like they have the trust and the power to create something new and better. We want to get ideas, and we don't want people to think we have to stick with what we do. That's how Kodak got stuck with film and Blockbuster got stuck with DVD rentals. They did not change their mental models. The V is for building a shared vision. Principle 2, that means as the leader, you've got to create a shared vision of the future of what the business is going to look like after we successfully change. That encourages people, it inspires them, it gets them to be innovative, and it gets them on board because they change because they want to. Whoops, just to go back. They change because they want to, not because they're told to. They see how good the future looks. Principle number 3 was the P. P for personal mastery. That means the people in the business need to be committed to continuous learning and self-improvement. They need to be masters of what they do and their future jobs as well. So how do we do that? Well, that's an easy one. We just provide training, development, and career advancement. And basically the thinking goes, because the people know the shared vision, they know what needs to change, and they'll want to change and learn those new things, and they won't resist the change. Then we had the T. T was for team learning. That was the people in the business must learn how to effectively and efficiently work as a team. And basically the thinking goes that, yeah, we're going to change better and get more done and do it more effectively if we do it as a group, because people can bounce ideas off each other. That's how most breakthroughs come about, people talking, people chatting. And lastly, our S is for systems thinking. We've got to think of the business as a connected system of departments, processes, and teams, not as separate areas or departments. So when people understand not only their part of the system, but how it all fits together, that's when good change happens. So basically, we looked at this concept, I think it was in operations, where we said internal customers, and we looked at total quality management, and that applies here. How does what I do affect not only the final customer that buys the product, but also my internal customers? So if I work in marketing, how does what I do affect operations? And if I work in operations, how does that affect the finance team? And so on. Lastly, we might need to sort of discuss, evaluate, analyze, etc. And look, there's some good things and some bad things. Some good things are it encourages to constantly improve. We're more flexible and adaptable. People are more motivated because they get to contribute. And yeah, we can be an employer of choice because we get the most committed workers. But on the bad side, it's a bit indulgent. It's a bit hard for traditional businesses, and also we might not have the time. We might not be able to survive, and we need to worry about money, not worrying about Senge's theory day to day. And a lot of people are resistant to working in teams and sharing knowledge, and it's probably not appropriate for employees who work just for lower order needs, e.g. in an abattoir or a call center or a factory. Those workers probably aren't going to be committed to Senge's learning.